What's going on, everybody, and welcome to my review of F9, or Fast and Furious 9, or WTF9, as a lot of people seem to be calling it. So this is, of course, the 9th installment in the Fast and Furious franchise, not counting Hobbs and Shaw. It was written and directed by Justin Lin, who's come back, I think the last one he directed was number 6. He's done 3 of the other installments, and it pretty much stars everybody who's been in a Fast and Furious movie, well, you know, except for Paul Walker, but let's not go there. So the plot is about, like, it's as basic as an overblown action movie plot could be. There is a weapon that is going to, you know, not destroy humanity, but basically allow the owner of this weapon to take over the world. And, you know, Dominic Cornetto, he's in retirement now. He doesn't want any of the life anymore. Him and Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez. But then out of hibernation suddenly comes Dom's brother, played by John Cena. And they've got to stop him from getting this weapon. You know, it's just that simple. They didn't really put any thought into this whole thing. So, now look, I have liked the franchise from about number 4 and 5 onwards. I didn't like the first ones because they were too heavily focused on the car racing element, and I'm not a car guy, you know. I wasn't a huge fan of those early movies until they started getting into the whole sort of heist and mission stuff, and that's when I really started to come on board with them. And yes, these movies, as the series has progressed, they have just gotten more and more over the top, becoming parodies of themselves. Like, there's no way you can deny that. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to criticize the franchise because of that. Because when you go into a Fast and Furious movie, you know what to expect. And I hadn't seen any reviews for this film. The general chit-chat on social media was that people weren't really liking it because it was too over the top, but I kind of thought, well, you know, that's what I expect. And look, I didn't mind the film. I'll get into the things. I know normally I talk about the positives first. I'll get into the negatives first this time around. So look, it is a really big movie, to the point where I think it's like 2.25 to 2.5 hours long or something. Like, it is a big movie to get through. There's no doubt about that. And it is dumb. This movie is so freaking dumb. I mean, you know, there are so many things in the film, so many, you know, plot devices where our heroes or even the villains have technology that is just like, come on, you know, like, there's no way anyone could just get their hands on this stuff, and it is just there as a convenient way for the characters to get something done, you know, to achieve a goal. And it's lazy, you know, it is really, really lazy. Our characters are just invincible. Like, they're just so bulletproof. They can go through, you know, explosions and gunfights and everything thrown at them, and they come out with barely a scratch. But, you know, it is to the point where a couple of the characters even reference that throughout the film. So I kind of thought that was, you know, I again, you know, it's hard to criticize it when the movie is actually owning up to it. And there was a lot of elements with Dom and his brother where they go through a whole bunch of flashbacks. There's a lot of flashbacks through this film. And while I did appreciate that they showed us without, you know, instead of telling us, rather than just have two characters sitting there talking about something that happened, like, they actually showed it. And I appreciated that. But it did make the film feel a bit long-winded, you know. There was a lot of emphasis on going back and telling us this story. Structurally as well, the film, it suffered from a bit of sloppy story editing. Not so much the film editing, but like, for instance, we've got a couple of characters who are in Tokyo, I think it was. They're on one mission while everyone else is doing another thing. And, you know, these two characters, they come to a point in the story where it stops. We cut back to the other people. But then it goes like through a whole bunch of stuff that they've done. When we come back to the other characters, we resume right where we left off from them. And it felt a little jarring, you know what I mean? Like a film story needs to progress. And if we cut to what other people are doing and we've got this whole big slog of time that's been passed, when we cut back, it should equally be further on, whereas it was right there and it was like, oh, okay. And a few other inconsistencies, things like the actors that they had play Dom and his brother, whose name I've already forgotten because it's dumb. Yeah, the casting there was a little off in that, like, Dom was way taller than his brother, whereas then when we cut to later on, and like they were, you know, young adults at that point. Then when we cut to like John Cena is clearly taller than Vin Diesel, so like, yeah, you guys, you didn't think that part through. But look, but here's the thing. Yeah, it was a little bit overblown and everything. I think it was by about an hour and a half, I was kind of sitting there like, okay, you're starting to lose me here a little bit. But then, yeah, look, the third act, the big finale, it gave me what I wanted. Look, you know, there were so many great action scenes, so much great stunt work in the film as well. And there was a lot of practical elements in there. There was clearly a ton of CG, but yeah, look, you know, I got what I expected, you know, which was just a big dumb action movie. You know, there were so many times when I was laughing my ass off when you got Helen Mirren driving a sports car after she's just stolen something on a big high-speed chase away from the cops and everything. Like, you gotta laugh at that. And there's so many other things in the film as well that I just laughed at because you just have to, because it's just so over the top. But I think if you go into this thing, go in expecting that. You know, if you're a fan of the franchise so far, I don't think you're going to be all that disappointed in it. Just don't be too critical. You know, just kind of check your brain at the door because you're not going to need it. I would watch the movie again. Yeah, I mean, I've got every other of the franchise on Blu-ray, so yeah, look, I'd add it. Probably not day one. I think I might get it when it comes down in price. It's probably not an essential buy straight away. But look, you know, overall, I had a pretty good time with the film, and I'm going to give F9 a 7 out of 10. Alright, so I'm throwing this over to you guys because I would love to know other opinions on this film. Like, I mean, I understand why people are criticizing it. I do, I really do. But like I said, it's kind of hard to be too harsh on these films because they are what they are. So throwing it over to you, let me know what you thought of F9, and also what's your favorite film in this franchise so far. I mean, yeah, I don't know. For me, I did like Fate of the Furious. Don't know if it was my favorite, but I think was it number 5 where they had like the bank vault that they were towing through a city. I mean, yeah, that was such a memorable action scene. I did like that one. But anyway, I digress. Over to you guys. Let me know what you thought of F9. Drop me some comments either here, Facebook, or Twitter. All the social media links are in the description below because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. I'll catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.